Alright, so I just wanted to do like a tier list on subclasses and classes in TF2 because I have about like almost 700 hours in this game. I might as well give my opinion, right? So first one is the skunt. Hold on. I want to start this off right away by whoopsies. By saying this is not a subclass. There's going to be a lot of these and people are going to get upset, but this is not a subclass. It's not a subclass, and I don't care what people say. It's Scout with the Force of Nature. That is not a subclass. Next one is Milkman. Also not a subclass. It's Scout with the Mad Milk. That is 90% of Scouts nowadays. It's not a subclass. Next is Bonk Boy. Yet again, not a subclass. It's You're not even using the Bonk Atomic Punch, it looks like. It's just using the Bonk Boy Misc. That's not. Oh my god. Wow. Have we lost the definition of subclass? Next is Troldra. Now this is a subclass. Not only that, it's one of my favorite subclasses. But like on it being powerful, it really isn't. It's probably or it's one of the most powerful subclasses, but it's also the most difficult to get good at, in my opinion. Other than I don't know, it's up there with Gunspy of how difficult it is. I'm gonna put it in B tier just because it's super difficult to get good at. The guide I'm looking at puts it in D tier. I'd have to disagree. It's very powerful in the right hands. Paratrooper. This is the airstrike into base jumper. I don't think this is a subclass. I'm sorry. That's not. That's just a way to play soldier. I don't know. Soldier Eye. Black Box or direct hit, Conqueror, and have Zetoichi. Um, I mean, I guess that's a subclass, but in my opinion, it's not even a subclass because it's just a way to play soldier. Most of these quote unquote subclasses are just ways to play the class. Yeah, that's not a subclass. I'm sorry. Power Shark, that's a subclass because you are changing your basically entire playstyle to play a class. It's still one of the worst subclasses, don't get me wrong, but it's genuinely a subclass. Usually because actual Pyro Sharks will only use the Neon Annihilator. There are hybrid sharks, I guess, and those aren't subclasses, that's just using the Neon Annihilator. Variant, Flyro Shark, Thermal Thruster and Neon Annihilator. I don't think this is. I don't think this should be considered different. I don't even think it's on here, which I don't mind. Um, Pyro, that's not a subclass. That's a way. Oh, sorry. That's a way to play Pyro. It's not a subclass. It's a mindset. Demo Knight, that's a subclass. Not only that, it's probably the best subclass. Okay, maybe not the best. I'll still put it in S tier just because of how powerful Demo Knight is. Like, yes, you're giving up the most powerful weapons in TF2, or some of the most powerful weapons. I still believe the Medigun and the rocket launcher are the two most powerful weapons, but whatever. Um, yes, Demo Knight gets hard countered by Engineer and Pyro if those Engineer and Pyro are either know how to air blast or are around that sentry. Otherwise, Demo Knight counters effectively every class. Not heavy though. Heavy is still like you're not getting through a heavy. I still think Demo Knight is kind of brain dead though. Hybrid Knight, or variant Demorai, that's not a subclass. That's just Demo Knight. Hybrid Knight, I think I'll consider this a subclass because it's like a subclass. I'll put it in A. Actually, I'm gonna switch these two around because Hybrid Knight is way more powerful than Demo Knight. Because if you have like 5 heads and you're using the grenade launcher, you win. You just win the game. There's this thing you can do where outside of spawn, you can trade out the booties for the grenade launcher and the shield for the sticky launcher. And if you go in after you change your loadout, keep the Islander, you still have all those heads, and you are just a powerful demo man. And I think that's kind of broken. I I think that the Eyelander should have a penalty on your secondary ammo, not your primary, so you can still hibernate, but I think it should have a massive downgrade like the Persian Persuader does. Demo Pan, that's not a subclass. Jesus Christ. It's using the frying pan on Demo Man. It's just Demo Knight. Fat Scout, that's a subclass. I like Fat Scout. Fat Scout is unironically great. Um Fat Scout is one of those things where it's like just no matter what you do, you're still a heavy with a shotgun. The shotgun is my favorite weapon in Team Fortress 2, and the heavy is well my least favorite class, but yeah, he's just unfun to play, unfun to fight. Actually, he's fun to fight if you're playing engineer, scout, or soldier. And actually, no, heavy's fun to fight. Horrible to play. I hate playing heavy. More power to every heavy main out there. Um, yeah, Fat Scout is unironically boss. Boxer heavy. I guess this is a subclass. It's bad, but it's a subclass because it's heavy knight, right? I'll put it down here with Pyro Shark. It's heavy knight. I don't know. I just think that's what brawler. Oh, this is just heavy knight, but slightly worse because now you have massive downsides of taking a boatload of damage. I think you're taking more than mini crit damage at that point because you have the 30% uh less resistance, and then you also have the 15% less resistance from the buffalo steak. So I think that's just bad. Just bad. Hoovy, that's not a subclass. That's being friendly. Battle NG. I'm gonna get some hate for this. Not a subclass. Battle NG is a mindset. Also, the guide I'm using, it says the gunslinger. No. Battle NG's best wrench is the Jag. Defensive NG's best wrench is technically the Southern Hospitality, but my favorite to use is the Eureka effect. Um, yeah, no, Battle NG is not a subclass. Battle Engineer is a mindset, and it's how I play Engineer. Like, I can play level 3 Engineer, but I very rarely get any use, or I very rarely get fun use out of the Rescue Ranger. Although, I will admit, sometimes I do like pulling out the Rescue Ranger and just being powerful as all hell. I don't know. I'm a huge sucker for being a tank, but also being a light class. Engineer, not a subclass. It's a way to play engineer. Battle medic. It's the worst subclass in the game. Why is this? Why is this saying B? Oh, because you can use the crossbow in medieval mode, I guess. But battle medic genuinely sucks. First of all, you're not healing your team as the most powerful class in the game. Using your most powerful option, you're gimping yourself to be a little silly, and I think that's kind of lame. Huntsman. I don't think this is a subclass, but if it is a subclass, I put it in S tier just because of how powerful the bow and arrow is. Obviously, it's not as powerful as the stock rifle, obviously. Um, but I don't know. It's excuse me. Huntsman sniper is I don't really know if I'd call it a subclass because like I honestly don't think it's a subclass, but I'm gonna pretend it is because you change your playstyle enough from a backlines class to a frontlines class, so I think that gives it enough. I personally use the cozy camper with it because it makes me more aggressive and also trains me to actually use the bow and arrow and not just switch to my SMG all the time. Spy crab, that's not a subclass. This is being friendly. I don't care. Box spy, that's being friendly. Civilian, what? That's just being friendly. Anyways, this is the subclass tier list. I guess this also means I gotta like put in since I have these, I'll put in my ideas for the actual classes. So for all the subclasses, I'm going to move them down one tier because none of them compete to the actual classes. Um, Demo Man is S tier. Uh, Having what, like 12 explosives? Am I doing my math right? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12 explosives that all deal upwards of 100 damage or upwards of 80 damage. I know the stickies need charging if you're sticky spamming. I like sticky spamming, like skillful sticky spamming. I don't just like holding right click. That's boring as hell and that's brainless. Um, yeah. Anyways, Demo Man S tier. Engineer, also. Engineer as a class, I mean, he's my favorite class, but I mean, he's honestly B tier. Engineer should never be the strongest class in the game. And I agree. And Uncle Dane said that, and I agree because engineer is a stalling class at the end of the day. Like, you have highs and lows in TF2. Engineer is the lows, medic is the highs. And these two classes, really, these two classes define Team Fortress 2's pacing. Like, obviously, there are classes that also can help with defining pacing, like a heavy jump scare can up the pacing, a sticky trap can lower the pacing, a sniper can lower the pacing, a bomb from a soldier can up the pacing. Yeah. Heavy is genuinely one of the worst classes in TF2. Like, as a design concept, I think it's a great idea having a slow moving, massive health, massive attack, massive beefcake of a man. Yeah. The issue with heavy is just as a concept, it works, but also it doesn't work because like there's not much you can do with heavy, especially since he's a streamlined fire weapon or has a streamlined fire weapon. Sustained fire, that's the word. And it doesn't feel as good to shoot. Especially, I hate playing heavy. He's not even my least played class, but I hate playing heavy. I enjoy playing medic. I can sometimes enjoy playing pyro. I enjoy spy. I enjoy sniper. I do not enjoy heavy. Like if this was opinionated, heavy would be an F tier, but he's not. Medic is the strongest class in the game. I don't care what anybody says. Medic is the strongest class. He's also the easiest class to play. I'm gonna be honest. He's the easiest class to play. Up there with pyro, but also strength-wise, he's up there with Demo Man. Yeah, medic is very powerful. Pyro, my beloved, I hate you. B tier, because like, I mean, at the end of the day, he's a faster heavy with less attack and less health, and also jankier projectiles as his weapon. But he also does have some weapons that change up his playstyle, like Dragon's Fury, my beloved. He has the back burner. He has the reserve shooter, the flare gun. He has the power jack, which is really the only used melee. He also has the back scratcher. He has the extinguisher. Pyro really has a great kit, and I think it's not stated as much. He has a very nice kit, and usually people when they think Pyro, they think WM1. I used to be an avid Pyro hater. I actually really like Pyro. Ever since I've been using the back burner, I genuinely love the back burner. Mostly because it opens up movement opportunities and rewards good movement. And I play Team Fortress 2 for the movement. Scout's also S tier. Scout is, I'd argue, the second most powerful class in the game because, oh my god, he is effectively a stick figure with a shotgun with who moves faster and has a double jump. And yet that somehow ends up making such ridiculous new movement opportunities for Scout and just makes him so much more like if you gave medic. So here's the thing, a shotgun is one of the most powerful weapons in the game, and I stand on that hill. Engineer has a shotgun, and he's a slow scout, effectively, but he also has his buildings. That's what makes Engineer so powerful. If you if you put Engineer and Scout in a vacuum without buildings and without any movement upgrades, Scout would only be slightly better because of his damage buff, like very slight damage buff to the scattergun. But the thing is, if that damage buff didn't exist, Scout would still be where he is because the movement of Scout is what makes him powerful. Like, his shotgun obviously is just as powerful as any other shotgun, if not a little more due to the damage ramp up. But still, Scout is awesome. I love Scout. Um, Sniper, he's not as powerful as people think. He's not S tier powerful. I think Sniper is balanced for the most part. Sure, it's annoying to get headshot. It's unfun to get headshot, but it's also unfun to get backstabbed. It's also unfun to get market garden. It's also unfun to get backburnered. It's also unfun to get heavy jump scared. It's unfun to turn the corner and up uber charge and now you're dead. Surprise is not usually fun to play against, and that's okay. People don't realize that's okay. That's fine. And they got rid of Pyro's crit from behind. Uh, and I think gunmetal. I wasn't around for that, so I don't really know. Um, because people were complaining that the ambush class could ambush too well, and I think that's the stupidest thing ever. People also complain that sniper can snipe too well. Shut up. He's a sniper. I honestly think sniper is fine where he is. Just do what fish stick on a stick does. Give him a clip. I have a balance change thing in the works, and I'm going to be talking about that one day. Anyways, finally, Soldier is S tier. Why I don't even need to say this. Soldier is my second most played class. He has 90 damage per rocket. Like Jesus Christ on a cracker. That's just ballsy powerful. Also, this doesn't. I just realized this doesn't have Gun Spy, which I'd argue is a a Dom class. um, I don't know. I Spy is the worst class in the game, like, or the weakest class, not the worst class. He's the weakest class in the game, so honestly, I should give him a D tier. But I don't know. I something about one-shotting people from behind is really cool. I have a lot of fun with Spy. Anybody who doesn't is lame. Loser, lame-o, wannabe, like, whoa. God, I'm so sorry. Anyways, I don't do outros. See ya.